Once upon a time, on the rolling green hills overlooking Lake Victoria, lived a woman named Nalongo Akula. Nalongo, meaning respected elder, was a title she wore with quiet dignity, yet a shadow of longing often darkened her eyes. Nalongo Akula and her husband, Jomo, a successful coffee farmer, had built a life of prosperity in their village near Cassis. Laughter often filled their mud brick home, but it was a laughter tinged with a constant, unspoken ache. Nalongo Akula had birthed 5 daughters, each as beautiful as the sunrise over the lake, but Jomo craved a son, an heir to carry his name and inherit their flourishing coffee plantation. Tradition dictated a son to secure the family legacy. Whispers began to snake through the village, carried on the warm evening breeze. Nalongo Akula is cursed, they would say. She cannot bear a son. The whispers stung Nalongo Akula, a constant reminder of the empty space in her heart. One scorching afternoon, as the sun beat down on the coffee beans drying on woven mats, Nalongo Akula confided in her dearest friend, Amani. Amani, with her eyes the color of rich Ugandan soil and a laugh that could chase away any worry, was her pillar of strength. Nalongo Akula, her voice barely a whisper, revealed her deepest fear. Jomo might take another wife, she confessed, a woman who can give him a son. Amani, her smile fading, listened intently. An unsettling silence descended upon them, broken only by the chirping of crickets. Finally, Amani spoke, her voice laced with a strange resolve. Nalongo Akula, she said, there is an ancient ritual. Risky, but powerful. It requires a woman of pure heart and unwavering loyalty. A coldness crept into Nalongo Akula's stomach. Rituals were a language spoken by elders and shamans, a realm she had always avoided. But the fear of losing Jomo trumped her hesitation. Days turned into weeks as they discussed the ritual in hushed tones. Finally, under the cloak of a moonless night, they embarked on their secret journey. The ritual was long and arduous. Chants echoed through the whispering savanna, and herbs with an acrid smell burned in the air. When it was over, Amani, her face etched with exhaustion, looked at Nalongo Akula. It is done, she said, her voice barely a croak. Months passed. Nalongo Akula watched with a detached curiosity as Amani's stomach swelled. Jomo, oblivious to the secret pact, beamed with anticipation. He showered Amani with gifts and whispered dreams of a son. The village gossiped with renewed fervor, this time about Amani's miraculous pregnancy. Finally, the day arrived. Amani gave birth, not to a son, but to a daughter, as beautiful as the moon hanging low in the velvet sky. Jomo's disappointment hung heavy in the air, but it was fleeting. He held his newborn daughter in his calloused hands, a flicker of love replacing his initial disappointment. However, Amani was a changed woman. The warmth in her eyes had been replaced by a steely glint. The night after the birth, under the same moonless sky as their secret ritual, Amani packed her meager belongings. She cradled her daughter close and walked into the darkness, leaving a note for Nalongo Akula. Forgive me, it read, but I cannot live a lie. Nalongo Akula found the note at dawn, the weight of betrayal a heavy stone in her chest. Amani had not only borne a child for Jomo, she had taken him too. With a stoicism honed by years of hidden pain, Nalongo Akula gathered her daughters. Life carried on, the sun rising and setting over the vast expanse of the lake. The coffee plantation continued to thrive, managed by Nalongo Akula and her strong daughters. Jomo, forever a shadow of his former self, remained with Amani in a distant village. Nalongo Akula never spoke of the ritual, nor of Amani's betrayal. Yet, her daughters saw the faintest of scars on her wrist, a silent reminder of a desperate gamble and a life forever changed. They, the daughters of Nalongo Akula, grew up strong and independent, each carrying a piece of their mother's quiet strength, a testament to the woman who, despite the sting of loss, built a legacy on her own terms.